Adam Ottavino, Aroldis, Chapman and Zack. Britton. Getty Images. Charles Wenzelberg, too. He is to this Yankees golden age of bullpens with C-3PO and R2-D2 R2, Star Wars, The Rock among a flurry of cast changes. So when Dellin Betances offers his assessment at the latest iteration, you listen. "I think this is the best," the behemoth setup man said earlier this month at George M. Steinbrenner Field. The best, Betances meant, of his time in pinstripes. Get the four-time All-Stars evaluation lives up to its hype, then Yankees fans won't be rooting on merely the best core of relievers in the Bronx since, say, 2014. They'll be witnessing, arguably, the top such unit in baseball history. What more fitting way for the Yankees to honor this year's Star Hall of Fame inductee, Mariano Rivera, the game's best reliever ever, and with the best bullpen ever? Alas, the reality of this tough task declared itself when the Yankees placed Betances, his velocity alarmingly low in Grapefruit League action, on the injured list with an impingement in his right shoulder. Then again, Betances' setback underlined the whole point of this bullpen on steroids. The built-in safety of having that many guys is a plus, newcomer Adam Ottavino said, because God forbid there's injuries or underperformance, you still have elite guys that probably are doing their jobs so it can keep the team afloat. Logic dictates, and study substantiates, that the continually decreasing reliance on starting pitchers results in a continually increasing importance of relievers. Major League Baseball set a record last year with 17,428 and a third relief innings, breaking the mark of 16,469 and two-thirds established in 2017, which bypassed the peak of 15,893 and two-thirds put up in 2016, according to Elias Sports Bureau. And given the popularity of the opener strategy introduced by the Rays, you can set your watch to yet another high-water mark being established in 2019. Dellin Betances, Charles Wenzelberg, New York Post. Thus it shouldn't surprise you that 5 of the 12 best single-season bullpens ever, as measured by Fangraphs wins above replacement, have emerged in the prior 2 seasons. Number 1 on that list, the best bullpen in history by this reasonable metric, is the 2018 Yankees, with 9.7 WAR. The Yankees relievers accounted for nearly 10 wins more than a unit filled with quadruple pitchers. For a perspective on what that means, the last year's terrible Mets bullpen actually registered a -0.6 WAR, worse than replacement level, and in doing so, the Yanks panicked by the 2003 Dodgers total of 9.6. "I've seen that," said Michael Fishman, the Yankees vice president and assistant general manager. "And there are projections for us in 2019 to be the top bullpen. It's good when they measure it that way. Can this 2019 collection climb even higher?" While a great man once said that you can't predict baseball, one could make a very reasonable wager that the 2018 Yankees' status as best bullpen ever will last only a little longer than Manny Machado's title of highest-paid free agent ever. Really, at the risk of complicating matters, if the Yankees' late-inning crew doesn't become the first to clear the 1-0 WAR threshold this season, another team's Brewers, Astros, very well might. The Yankees rank as the favorite, though, and here's why. 1. Addition by addition. Maybe you heard this thought expressed out loud over the winter: why so much excitement over the Yankees bullpen? Zack, Britton and David Robertson become free agents, and the Yankees resigned Britton and replaced Robertson with Ottavino, or as Red Sox manager Alex Cora put it, the Yankees rejiggered bullpen as the same dinner with different condiments. No doubt the homegrown and subsequently reacquired Robertson contributed significantly to the 2018 Yankees' record-breaking relief, and he became part of the Phillies' huge winter upgrade. Ottavino put together a superior season last year while with the Rockies, however. And if all goes according to plan, the Yankees will receive 6 months of Britton, plus, they hope, the playoffs, rather than only 2 months, to join Ottavino, closer Aroldis, Chapman and Chad Green as the frontline guys, with the hope that Betances won't be too far behind. Chad Green, Charles Wenzelberg, New York Post. "I'm excited just to watch Britton for a full season up close," Green said. I'm excited to learn from Ottavino and his success, too. Britton, moreover, will not be playing from behind either physically. He missed the first 2+ months of last season with a right Achilles injury, or mentally, he switched in a blink from Orioles closer to Yankees setup man as he did last year. Obviously this is a little different, because I'm not going to close, Britton said. But I have time now to understand the role I'm going to be in. As for Ottavino, while one can never assert with a great confidence that a new Yankees pitcher will avoid the assimilation affliction that claimed Sonny Gray, Carl Pavano and Ed Whitson, among so many others, he appears well-positioned to do so. A New York City native and graduate of Berkeley Carroll High School in Brooklyn, Ottavino has made his off-season home in Manhattan and aimed to come home in his first free agency. Furthermore, he played a significant role in the Rockies' bullpen last year, which held the title of most expensive relief corps at about $46 million until this Yankees group came together for over $48 million, so he understands the notion of a crowded bullpen for the greater good. You're not relying on everything to break perfect with the bullpen, he said this spring, before Betances' struggles. Obviously you're hoping for that, but it probably doesn't have to happen for this team to reach its goals, too. Extras. Beyond the Yankees' front five of their bullpen's back end, they boast plenty more appealing options. Third-year right-hander Jonathan Holder blossomed last season, putting up a 3.14 ERA and serving up only 4 gopher balls in 66 innings. You get a guy like Jonathan Holder, most teams, he's throwing late innings with his stuff, Britton said. A year ago at this time, Tommy Kahnle, fresh off an impressive 2017 postseason, stood as an important member of the Yankees staff. He proceeded to perform terribly, putting up a 6.56 ERA in 24 games as he hit the disabled list with right shoulder woes, yet the 29-year-old has enjoyed a strong spring training and his upside remains obvious. Kahnle has tremendous stuff, Betances said. He was special 2 years ago. Last year, obviously, he had some injuries that he dealt with. But if we get Kahnle from 2 years ago, the bullpen is even scarier. I believe that he's going to be back to his old self. Throw in young left-hander Stephen Tarpley, who impressed enough last September to make the Yankees' American League Division Series roster, and they have what appears to be a remarkable supply of high-end talent. The bullpen isn't one or two pieces, pitching coach Larry Rothschild said. It's the total of the 6 or 7 pieces. 3. Deployment discipline. Betances pitched in 66 games last season, tying his full-season career low set in 2017. He served as rookie manager Aaron Boone's best resurrection project, as he had lost Joe Girardi's confidence in the prior year, and he should serve as the poster boy for how Boone and Rothschild utilize their resources. I think Boone tries to do a good job of giving us our days, Betances said. It's like you're not missing out, we're pretty disciplined as far as steering clear of using a pitcher 3 days in a row, 3 out of 4. Boone said. We're very aware and try and protect those guys as much as we can. So there's some times during the season where we make some difficult calls that we're going to have a guy down. It's not the most convenient thing in the world, but I feel like you've got to do it to keep our strength as strength. The discipline fulfills its own reward, in theory. If they're all healthy, then they kind of protect each other, Boone said. So that's the idea. The best thing about the depth is I think it's going to help guys get some rest, Britton echoed. I don't think we're going to get abused in any way, but maybe not get worn out as quickly. Hopefully that plays well going into the postseason. 4. For goodness sake. Remember, let's say about 10 years ago, when the prevailing wisdom stated that only the most elite relievers, say, Rivera and like 5 other guys, were reliable, and everyone else represented a crapshoot. The Yankees helped support that tenet when multi-year investments like Kyle Farnsworth and Damaso Mart quickly turned sour. The analytical revolution has rendered that notion close to obsolete. I think there's a little bit more of an understanding now of who are the good relievers, Fishman said. Who's sustainable, who's not? That understanding can come from relatively basic statistics like fielding independent pitching, which serves as a predictive tool. It can derive from investigating the average exit velocity of opponents' contact. All of that, and the stuff. Fishman said. Better measurements of the stuff. So the Yankees believe in the wipeout stuff of Betances, Chapman, Green and Ottavino, each of whom averaged well over 10 strikeouts per 9 innings in 2018. They committed to Britton, whose sinker generates exceptionally high ground ball rates. They're armed and ready, history on the horizon. The hardest thing is going to be to get away from some of those expectations that this could be the best bullpen ever. Britton said. As long as we do what we normally do, it's going to be. They'll start closing their case, one save at a time, on Thursday.